Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, forget everything you know about WrestleMania 41. The card is getting torn to pieces.
How those within WWE reacted to John Cena's heel turn.
We're going to tell you how John Cena's heel turn really worked and what really went down backstage.
And unlike WWE, we've got an update on the Wyatt 6.
I'm Andy Murray.
I'm Michael Hamflett.
Spooky version today. Yeah. And this is the news. I should got a hat so I could be Uncle Howdy. The H stands for Howdy. There you go. Good start. We're off to a flyer here. All right, we're going to kick this one off by talking about some changes that are maybe coming to the WrestleMania card. Basically, the current situation with the WrestleMania card is if you think you've worked it out, you haven't, and you should probably think again, is the situation here. So I've got a couple of reports I'm cramming into one here, like a Pokeball. That's how those work, isn't it? You take two...
Because with the stories, you've got to catch them all.
This is it. A little goblin comes out and goes, "Woo!"
That's it.
What's your favourite Pokemon?
A turtle.
Turtle?
Yeah. Michelangelo.
Mine's the little garlic guy.
Mine's
similar.
Diesel.
Big Daddy Cool Snorlax. Right, anyway, yes. First report comes from WrestleVotes on the Backstage Pass Q&A show, noting that, first of all, there are plans to add Rhea Ripley to the Bianca Belair Io Sky match at WrestleMania. That's already set. Of course, Io Sky won the Women's World title from Rhea Ripley on Raw. That established the Belair match because Belair won the Elimination Chamber. But we kind of figured a triple threat was in the works anyway, because when they had that face-off at Elimination Chamber, it was Rhea over here, Bianca over here, and Io in the middle. So, you know, that's maybe the most obvious change that's coming up. They'll build to that on TV. I'm sure it'll be good. Three absolute demons in the ring, so you know what. Like I've said through and through, I will give you one multi-person match for WrestleMania. That's it, just one. This is it. Now also, Brian Alvarez, speaking of WWE sources on Wrestling Observer Live, said there's a bunch more twists and turns coming in the build to WrestleMania 41. Brian said, if you think you know the Mania card based on what happened at Elimination Chamber, there are going to be some changes. So that's an interesting one to consider. Now, when you think of last minute changes in WrestleMania and not doing the expected and being bold and disruptive and bald, you think of the Dwayner.
Bold and disruptive.
Bald and disruptive. That's me doing ups and downs later today.
Check it out.
You think of the Dwayner. You think of him just coming in, taking all those little toys you've arranged on the table and going, never mind that, here's a Pokeball.
Yeah.
Dwayne does what Dwayne wants. Now, there's no insinuation in this report that it's related to him. I'm just speculating on this. But it sounds like there's going to be a few more twists and turns on the road. They've only announced like a handful of matches so far. Bianca and Io, but that'll get changed. Yeah. Tiffany and Charlotte.
Charlotte's one of my favourite Pokemon.
Yeah, that's her. Charlotte Flairazard. What are we doing here? Trying to turn wrestlers into Pokemon.
Let us know your favourites in the comments below.
Yeah, Jey Uso versus Gunther Squirtle.
Yeah.
Is the other one. I couldn't get there.
Internet likes Yeet Man, doesn't it, for Jey Uso? So Yeet Man's a Pokemon name for
Yeet Man. Yeah. Yeet Man versus Ash Ketchup or whatever the...
It's Ketchup. It's Ash Brown sauce.
Okay, cool. So yeah, big changes coming to WrestleMania. Forget everything you know. Pokemon.
I have mixed thoughts on this. Like, the legacy of this year's road to WrestleMania will be Rocky. That's not to say the show won't be excellent.
It was Rocky last year as well, brother.
I see what you did there. The week that The Rock said, "I'll take that, thanks very much," was weird. But then they kind of fixed all that up at the Vegas big gathering they did, where Cody slapped The Rock. And most of the rest of the card was something you could pretty much piece together from the Survivor Series before it, which, by the way, is kind of how you're supposed to do these things, Paul.
Yes,
and was certainly the case for WrestleMania 39, I believe, still the best built WrestleMania of the Triple H era thus far. It's not to say WrestleMania won't be awesome. We are not here to sort of dampen the hype for it. Certainly the roster is too hot, the roster is too stacked for a load of cool stuff not to spring forth. But I'm a fan of the anticipation often more than the delivery in pro wrestling. It's the bit that lasts longer. It's the bit that you get to live with for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. I think it's one of the reasons why the Jey Uso Gunther match feels as big as it does, is because it's something that we've been able to sit with since the Royal Rumble. And the fact that like so many of these matches are going to come together in this Elimination Chamber WrestleMania home stretch, I, in my gut, don't even believe that was the thing Triple H would have wanted. Doesn't strike me as the way he likes to do business, but it does just feel, rock or otherwise, like a lot of things have been thrown up in the air this year. Yeah. I would even say that Triple H has probably been quite grateful that The Rock is being used as the excuse for some of the chaos, because a lot of this has, as you point out, has nothing to do with him. Yes. Yeah. Triple H seemingly had about 9 days to convince John Cena to turn heel, and fair play to him for that. But a lot of this other stuff is the kind of thing that could have been ironed out back around Survivor Series, when traditionally that's when you want to start kind of laying out your breadcrumbs to be revealed at the Royal Rumble.
Swimming through the sea of matches.
The creative sea.
What we're doing
that's
here.
That's what all I wanted to do for the last few months, to swim through the creative sea, and instead I've just been getting hit by those ring pulls that dolphins get trapped in. I'd like a card. I want more graphics with the people on the WrestleMania Vegas iconography, please. But twists and turns are fun in their own. There's an element of it where it's like the unpredictability can contribute, because sometimes some of the best things spring forth from 7 to 15 days notice. We talk about one of our favourite all-time foo heads, and it's Punk and Kingston, and that was over and out over the course of 1 month. Best build, best match, best everything, and they kind of nailed all that. Many ways to skin the cat in pro wrestling, but we'll see how this all plays out along the way.
Some of the matches should be a 2-year build, some of them should be a 2-week build.
Exactly.
Balance, baby.
Exactly.
And make sure you avoid the turcarinos.
That's what I've always said.
You've always
Definitely.
said that.
Somebody that I genuinely, in my heart, don't believe will be in one, even though I can understand why people might be concerned, is John Cena at WrestleMania. He will take on Cody Rhodes, of course, in what we assume to be the main event of Night 2, following the incredible heel turn at Elimination Chamber. And it seems as if those within WWE are as positive as all of us are, having watched it take place. Fight for Select came through with a few extra details on, obviously, this just generational event that took place at Elimination Chamber. The report said there was a lot of pleasant shock. This was in answer to a question that Sean was asked in his Q&A. This was the type of thing that even people on the roster thought was possible, but just didn't think would happen. There was a lot of excitement on the roster because they knew it would lead to more eyes on the show. And doesn't that understate the sheer scale of all of this? It's been brilliant this week watching less so the fantasy booking and the moments where supposedly this was on the cards a year ago, because who knows with The Rock what was intended and what wasn't, and finger law and the likes. But it's been interesting to see various clips come out about times when the heel turn nearly happened and didn't. I think Cena went deep with Chris Van Vliet once about new gear, new merch, new music, and then it was just dropped. And the various other points in this incredible 20-odd year babyface run where they could have pulled the trigger and didn't. It's not understating this, and it's the internet, and it's content and aggregation, and we use hyperbole quite a lot in our game, kind of once in a generation stuff. This was our Hogan in the NWO. This is Undertaker breaking the streak, Austin shaking Vince's hand. Whatever you want, you just live through one on Saturday, and it's pretty cool that those in the company kind of realise the magnitude of that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amplified by the fact that if you were a WWE fan in the 20 whatevers, what do you call 2000s? Yes,
the aughts, the noughties, the awkward bit.
I'm not calling it noughties, that sucks. But if you were a WWE fan between 2006 and 2019 or something.
There was 12 of us. We used to we had an AGM. It was pretty small. I used to cater for it.
You kind of suffered through the Superman push, the Hoganisms, the burying the Nexus, the burying this person, that person, kissing Zack Ryder's girlfriend in front of him, all of this stuff. You sat through the worst of John Cena, right? And it was never his fault, obviously. It was, he's a pretty political dude in his own right, but, it was the insistence.
He was a soldier, wasn't he?
He was a company soldier. It was the insistence of management as pushing him as this invincible denizen at the top of the card, and that's why we got 23 Randy Orton matches and all that stuff. So you sat through all of this, and if you sat through all of this stuff, it's much more. It's really cathartic to have finally gone through the heel turn at this stage. I'm not saying that makes the 13 years or whatever of stuff where it wasn't so great worth it, but it does feel really good now, and you take the good with the bad in your life as a wrestling fan. I think it'll go down as one of the all-time great heel turns. I think that probably undersells it, if anything. It's this decade's Hogan. It's this decade's whatever else you want to apply to it. Steve Austin, that was shocking, but it turned out crap, so I'm not going to use that.
It killed the business, and this one probably won.
It killed the business, exactly. So, it's absolutely seismic, and it's the kind of thing we'll be talking about on lists for years. It'll be like the Montreal Screwjob. It's the kind of thing we'll be talking about it until we're absolutely sick. To the extent that I actually want to delete the Montreal Screwjob from history, so I never have to go in on it again. But yeah, it's absolutely huge. And now we're going to tell you how it worked. New report here from Dr. Chris Featherstone. This is on the Backstage Pass Patreon gimmick. Talking about just how this worked and how it came together. I'm just going to read the report to you so it's like not conflating anything. Dr. Chris Featherstone apparently learned that the heel turn was a long time decision and it took a lot of planning and time to think and propose the perfect moment to do it. He was told that the parties had been contemplating this easily for over 6 months and that everyone involved wanted to make sure they had 100% of the scenario, including the crowd reaction. So they just wanted to make sure everything was right, everything was perfect. It was also mentioned that Elimination Chamber ended up being chosen because it was a stadium event and they wanted that big arena, like 30,000 people, whatever it was, I can't remember. They wanted that monumental reaction to fit the moment. And on top of this has been evaluated for several months, and the event during the road to WrestleMania was a major influence on the decision. So it's quite interesting. You've got other reports. Well, I mean, you've got Dave Meltzer over here tweeting and deleting the Triple H lost a political argument with The Rock.
That's good stuff.
And then Cody was like, actually, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then The Rock was like, well, I don't want to piss you off for various reasons. So let's do this instead. I love the idea that Cena's heel turn could be second choice. That's extremely funny.
Yeah.
God bless Dwayne and his interesting brain. There you go. It's been in the works for a while. That's how it all came together.
Yeah. It's we kind of touched on it, didn't we? It's always one of the things that you could say could have been in the works for years, decades even, but then actually doing it is that one giant leap that you actually have to take. I will say this, because I am firmly of the belief, and this is just me speculating, and certainly not necessarily somebody with sources or anything like that, that they probably would have gone down a different direction had Rock got what he wanted. Personally, that's my personal belief. However, the benefits to the John Cena last year, which were already enormous, we'd already seen it with the last Royal Rumble, the last Elimination Chamber, the last WrestleMania. They were big enough to stand alone before this event, and think about how many more of them he would have done between now and December. Like, you probably just doubled the effectiveness of that, because now the lasts come with the added ingredient of him being a heel. He could win the WWE title, he could break that record, but he could do it at WrestleMania. And then you've got this guy, this unstoppable force that needs to be taken down before December, before he gets to repeat history with the Punk and being like, I'm leaving WWE, and I'm leaving with the WWE title.
Maybe Punk should dethrone him in December, baby.
This is the stuff. You know, you set up potentially Cody being able to finish a whole brand new story, which is getting his belt back off Cena. Roman Reigns has one last run in this battle of the Titan. A million things to do with the heel John Cena, potentially as world champion, that you didn't have as a babyface. It's making the last year count double all of a sudden. So they can probably have timed this out well.
I'm looking forward to his first promo on on Cody or someone. It's going to be like a diss track.
Yeah. I want it and I don't, because the longer they leave it, the more I'll anticipate it. You know.
I'm anticipating the Pusha T diss track where he outed Drake as a deadbeat dad. I want the story of Adidon, anything. Hit him up. Let's go.
Cena knows where some bodies are buried. You could really start revealing some stuff.
He's a brutal bastard on the microphone.
Yeah.
He killed Austin Theory and Roman Reigns in their feuds. He bodied those guys.
Yeah.
And look, sometimes it's not good for business a lot of the time, these burials, right? Because the whole point is that you're meant to build up your opponent so that the match feels bigger. Sometimes they're fun, though. So it's counterproductive but fun. It's like eating loads of sweets.
Yeah.
It's gonna harm you, but also in the moment you're like, oh my god, this is great.
This is class.
Sweet me, daddy. Sweet me, daddy ass.
Cena's got that ability to do the snap, hasn't he? Pikachu from those films.
That's Sonic the Hedgehog, mate.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's his little mate with the knuckles.
I obviously can't be dealing with these kind of silly fictional characters, so we'll move to some serious ones instead.
Celebrity guest at WrestleMania, KSI Duck. There you go. Why not?
The Wyatt Six.
The Wyatt Six.
Speaking of credible characters. The Wyatt Six, we have a bit of an update on them because it's kind of a bit of an everything and nothing with them at the moment. Obviously, Alexa Bliss is back on television getting enormous responses, and you're seeing the Wyatt flickers and the teasers and all that. So they're about, but they themselves are nowhere to be seen. We've got some news on that. PWN at PWN Reports, with a report confirmed by Bodyslam.net, noted that the injured member of the Wyatt Six that had been talked about was one of the reasons for their absence was Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy himself. But he is now cleared to return. He's medically free and able to be back on television as good as right now, so possibly this week on SmackDown. But the report did add, it's not known why WWE kept the entire group off television in his absence. Of course, they've worked matches while Bo Dallas has sat on the floor in the old Bray Wyatt rocking chair or stood on the top of the ramp with holding his lapels and chuckling, all that kind of stuff. A very strange period for this group at present. An enormous rollout last year that was done, with great affection and love to Bray Wyatt, and something that they took the time with and explaining how all of these disparate figures had come together with their own individual sequences. But then it did sort of ground to a halt. They last wrestled on television in September. They last appeared on television in December. And though they were working house show matches, like mixed stable matches against the Final Testament on the WWE Holiday Tour, none of that made it to television in the end. The feud was not dropped, but kind of abandoned when the Wyatts were contracted officially to SmackDown during the transfer window.
Yep.
It seemed like they were going to do something where they were chasing The Miz over there at the behest of Karrion Kross, but again, all of that was just speculative and I guess now fantasy booking because nothing ever happened.
Yep.
We currently have Alexa Bliss as the lone Wyatt Law adjacent character because she's carrying the Lily doll. But yeah, Bo Dallas fit as a fiddle, so maybe that will change in the road to WrestleMania. There was rumours a while ago that they were going to do a bit of a stable thing with the Judgment Day, but they're on Raw again. That in itself feels like one of these many WrestleMania up in the air things. So we'll see. Could be back as early as this Friday now that we know this about Bo Dallas, but could still be on ice a little bit longer.
He could be elbow dropping all over the world soon into vats of fizzy juice or whatever.
Mountain Dew pitch black. Or that Taco Bell midnight Mountain Dew we were getting tagged in yesterday.
Yeah, I don't need that.
I want that purple drink.
I'm not going to drink that purple drink. Or other purple drinks, in fact, because that will damage you.
I'll drink all them flaming moles that I can get my friggin' hands on.
Dave Blunt's over here.
I cannot wait.
You seen this guy, Dave Blunt's, the rapper?
Oh, yeah.
He's out of control, him.
I wish nothing but the best for him, but like elements of him make me think aspirational.
Yeah, figure. I mean, some of the slurs probably not so good, Dave. Right, let's talk about the Wyatt Six. The only thing I don't like that they've done with the Wyatt Six so far is that I wasn't really keen on the first angle where they murdered everyone. Backstage, right? But other than that, I think
killing guys, cutting people, killing people, and them up.
Working for Woolworths. I think Woolworths doesn't exist anymore. How can they work there? That's weird.
There's Wilco's. I was going to go Wilco's.
It doesn't exist either.
No.
Yeah, it's all gone.
Changing,
it's
man.
gone. All these shops are gone. That's the only thing I don't like. Like their presentation so far has been pretty restrained.
Yeah.
It's been like. It's been like we're kind of just unsettling you. Like we're not doing anything like this out with the realms of fiction. So but it has also been quite sporadic as well. It feels like they'll have a short program with like an American maid and then they'll just disappear for a while and then they'll do another thing. It's a tricky thing to get right. I'm glad they're doing it because obviously Bray passed away in really tragic circumstances. Bo is his brother, obviously, and it's a nice thing to do is to get all these people who were connected to him, to Bray, and to package it together and ensure that his memory and name lives on WWE programming. Also, it's been like really, like even if you're not super into like supernaturally stuff, like I said, I think it's been pretty uninvasive. It's just been kind of like we're just some spooky wrestlers, right? We're not wizards or whatever.
Tethered to reality the whole time.
Absolutely. So I think it's been quite smartly done. I think Alexa, she loves this stuff. Like she's super into this stuff. And I think that pro wrestling is like 90% more effective when you know that the people doing these things are like really invested. You can tell when someone's faking it, and you can tell when someone's doing something ironically. It doesn't work. You can't connect with it on the same level. It's inauthentic.
Totally.
I feel like this will sound like a pretty wild thing to say because it is quite an outlandish gimmick, right? But I feel like this is a really authentic thing. Like I feel like everyone involved in this, super locked in. I think their intentions are super pure.
It's not just the NWO. You can't just put a T-shirt on somebody.
Yeah,
exactly. You have to have the right characters to fix this. Yeah,
exactly. It's like they haven't plucked Michael Wall Street up, and all of that stuff. Although that would be
quite sweet.
That would be quite an appropriate link, wouldn't it?
I guess so. Yeah.
We've accidentally stumbled on a bit of gold there.
Yeah.
But yeah, look,
Jim Duggan, an old WCW/WWE guy.
Top 5, one of my favourite wrestlers of all time.
Aberdeen's one of his favourite places in the world.
Aberdeen's favourite son. He's got more respect for the city of Aberdeen than that scumbag Ted DiBiase.
Oh wow!
But let's not go in on that.
Moneybags, get your map out.
Yeah, come on, Teddy. But what was I trying to say? So like, It's good. I'm glad they're getting the opportunity to explore this creativity on TV. I would like to see them back. I think that Alexa will give it a completely different angle. And look, if Alexa's involved, it means it's going to be on TV a lot more.
She's so over at the moment.
Yeah, she's ridiculously over.
Yeah.
Like the biggest pop at the Royal Rumble, in the chamber, everything she did, the crowd was super locked in. And that's not always easy in a chamber in a stadium because you have these cables and stuff in your way. It's not the easiest match to watch live. So yeah, it's good, and I hope they're back soon, and I wish them nothing but the best. The Rotunda family is, I cannot fathom losing.
Yeah.
What was he, 36, 37?
Too young.
Our kind of age. Losing a father, a husband, a brother, a son. I can't fathom the things they've gone through this past few years. So nothing but the best to them. See you soon, hopefully, on TV.
Yeah.
And if you want to see us again soon, actually, I think Simon Miller did this video, but here's one story, the best story from every year in wrestling since 1989. I was 2 years old.
I was 12.
Yeah, he's 58, mate.
Yeah, I was 40.
This guy, World War II veteran, baby. He was on the submarines and stuff. Look at him, old HMS Victory.
You should click this on the beaches.
Admiral Nelson over here. See you later.
We'll click again.
See you later. Bye.